be beasts everywhere.
Yeah.
But you definitely hit the nail on the head. That's what Robbie Smith wants. Wants to stand on top of that podium and be the face of Greco-Roman wrestling in the United States.
Yeah.
And coming up the map, we got another good one. John Anderson in the red singlet going against Andy Bisek in the blue. And Bisek won this first match 9-1, impressively, I might add. We all know about Anderson's motor. Bisek matched him toe-to-toe with that motor, and if not, outworked him at some points. You know, he got on top, got on a roll, and Bisek, I mean, he's looking good.
He's looking excellent. You know, was able to get on top, and that was huge for him. Got a lot of turns there, and yeah, like you said, yeah, Anderson brings that pace, but pace isn't much if you can't get anything else going beyond it.
Right.
And a guy like Bisek,
the key is Anderson either needs to get out to an early lead, or he needs to keep things really close. I'm talking 1 point margin in the second period. That's where he's going to be able to excel. He's not going to excel down by 7 points with a minute to go.
Right.
So let's see what adjustments he's made moving into the second match.
And starting off similar, both guys battling here. And Anderson doesn't want to be in that 2-on-1, doesn't want Bisek to get to that underhook.
And, you know, one thing I love watching about Greco is throwing punches with the shoulders. That's what I call it, throwing punches with the shoulders. You know, I just love seeing that, seeing the shoulder battle. I mean, it's very subtle things like that make Greco so much different than freestyle and really exciting if you know all the little qualities about it. But Anderson just comes out, shoulder punch right to the chest. He's trying to set the tone. And you see Bisek just matching it, and he's controlling the arms. The different styles, even though they appear to be doing the same thing, it's completely different.
Yeah. And that 2-on-1 is kind of preventing a lot of things for Anderson as Bisek really controlling ties, been in the underhook already. The official getting on Anderson here. We're going to go passive on Anderson. So already Bisek getting a favorable impression for the officials. And there he's going to throw it by for 2.
Nice whip by with that underhook for Bisek. I mean, that's just impressive stuff.
And there he's working that gut. Here's where he loves to be. 2 more. And what are we going to see here? 2 more, 6-0. Right now, 1 more 2-point turn would do it for Bisek. Anderson doing anything he can. Bisek's going to lift up here.
He's going for the monster home run.
Put the exclamation point at the end.
Oh, doesn't get it. Falls just a tad bit short.
So it's just 5-0. They went hand-to-hand on one of those.
Went hand-to-hand on the third one. I thought that could have been close to hand-to-hand. So, again, Bisek opens up an early lead. Can Anderson make the comeback and chip away? I've seen it happen before against high-level competitors, but not against Bisek.
Yep. So they're in that underhook position again, over-under here. Changing head position, battling for ties here. Trying to get an advantage is Anderson, but so far he's come up short. It's been all Bisek.
Yeah, and Bisek, he's just doing a great job controlling the ties.
Good head position.
2-on-1.
Yep.
You know, Anderson's just having a tough time getting inside. And in Greco, that's oftentimes the key, getting inside, getting an underhook or an inside tie or a collar tie. But everything comes from the inside unless you're going for drags.
Right. And, you know, we haven't really seen Anderson work much of the drags or, you know, I'm not even sure what kind of hold Anderson really is comfortable in. Where does he score from? Because so far he has not been close.
Well, he's one of those guys that generates bad moves for the other wrestler because they get so tired.
Yeah.
And they get in bad positions, and he just sort of pounces on them, capitalizes, or gets straight push-outs.
Yeah.
He can just run into you and get a push-out at the end of the match, you know, 2, 3, 4 times. Or, you know, a guy will try something, he'll snap him down for a headlock spin behind, or, you know, a drag, something cheap that you wouldn't normally hit against a fresh guy. But Bisek up 5-0 as we head to the break. And Anderson, man, he's got his work cut out for him right now.
Yeah, this is not how he wanted that first period to go. You said keep it close, and this is the last thing. No points still, trailing by 5. And if I'm Anderson, you know, I'm starting to run out of options and starting to think, not necessarily desperation, but you got to be thinking big move here.
I think you got to be thinking desperation here. I mean, what do you have to lose?
Well, sure.
You've got 3 points away from a tech fall anyway.
Yeah.
You know, try something. This is for a spot in the world team, you know. So you really have nothing to lose. If you get second, you get second.
Yeah, and if you get pinned, you get pinned.
But at least you go down fighting, you go down trying. just hanging out in the ties and letting Bisek get in the hook, it's not going to cut it. I mean, he may get 2 or 3 push-outs at the end of the match, but he's down by 5 at this point, and what's to say Bisek's not going to score again? So Anderson really needs to come out on fire here in the second period, and he is capable.
Yeah.
But Bisek, so solid.
And Bisek been one of the more impressive guys here for me this entire World Team
I completely
Trials.
agree. He has emerged.
And another one of those guys, could be starting to become more of a household name for United States Greco as he's kind of cementing himself as a guy.
I completely agree. See Anderson sort of charging in with those shoulders.
Man, but Bisek can stand in there and battle too. He does not stop. He's always looking to score. He's kind of like Anderson in that regard, but with just a bevy of offensive moves at his disposal. And working that left side underhook, maybe looking to kind of duck under that was Anderson, but now he's caught with his head underneath here. We'll see what Bisek can do from this position as Anderson's able to clear it. Throwing another one of those shoulder punches you like to talk about there is Anderson. Collar tie for Anderson. Now dropping down. Anderson staying real active, but Bisek, has an answer for everything he's throwing at him. 1:27 to go now.
Yeah, at this point, Bisek just doing the Olay, pulling a China shop kind of thing. And with just over a minute to go, Bisek's really controlling this.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy to think he's the one controlling the center of the mat and controlling the
kind of beating Anderson at his own game in a way. This is where
Anderson hasn't stopped moving, but he's just not getting anywhere with his motion.
Yep, exactly that. So 50 seconds to go here. It is desperation time for Anderson. He's got to look for something big here. Working those ties, trying to get an angle, trying to open them up. But so far, hasn't been able to do so. And the ref's going to say, Anderson, you got to come up. John, come on.
Yeah, he's burying his head down there.
If you drop that head, drop that shoulder down too far, it's kind of obvious. And there you saw kind of maybe looking for a body lock there is Anderson, but Bisek able to clear out. Just 18 seconds left. And 5-0 lead for Andy Bisek still. And right now, Anderson's got to get something big. He's going to need a 5-point throw, or it's going to be Bisek's spot on the world team again. And with just 5 seconds to go, we're going to see Andy Bisek on the world team for the third time.
Third time in 4 years for him, and he is looking sharp.